The ocean floor is on fire. Sounds impossible, right? I mean, we think of the ocean as the exact opposite of fire. But what if I told you that deep, deep beneath the waves, the ocean floor is literally, well, on fire? Let's dive in and find out how that's even possible.
So, let's just ask the question straight up. Can the sea actually be on fire? You know, the very thing we use to put out flames? It feels like a total paradox, doesn't it? Something that just breaks the basic laws of nature.
I mean, think about it. Fire and water, they're like the fundamental opposites of our world. One consumes, the other quenches. So this whole idea of a burning sea, it sounds like something out of a myth, a complete and total contradiction.
And, for pretty much all of human history, that's exactly how we saw it. The deep ocean, it was the last place you'd ever think to find fire. It was this cold, pitch-black, totally lifeless abyss, just a silent, frozen world down there.
But then, the 1960s happened, and everything we thought we knew got turned upside down. As scientists started putting together the first real maps of the ocean floor, this new picture started to emerge, and it revealed a secret, a pretty terrifying one that had been hiding under the waves forever. Okay, so this brings us right to the scientific heart of our story. We're talking about the fiery ocean floor and how we discovered our planet's hidden volcanic heart.
What scientists found down there is it's on a scale that's almost impossible to wrap your head around. Imagine a single, continuous mountain range, but underwater, and it stretches for 40,000 miles. That's long enough to wrap around the entire planet like a seam on a baseball.
This thing has a name, the Mid-Ocean Ridge. And get this, it's not just a bunch of mountains. It's a massive network of cracks in the Earth's crust. And through these cracks, molten magma is constantly erupting from the planet's mantle. It is, no exaggeration, the largest chain of volcanoes on the entire planet.
So you can see how this discovery just completely flipped our old understanding on its head. That cold, dead abyss we talked about, turns out it's the most volcanically active place on Earth. In a very, very real sense, the seafloor was on fire.
And the water that's gushing out of these volcanic vents along the ridge, it is superheated to an incredible 400 degrees Celsius. To put that in perspective, that's way more than hot enough to melt lead.
Okay, so the big question is, why doesn't the entire ocean just boil away? The answer is one word: pressure. Down there, the weight of all that water on top is so immense, so powerful, that it actually stops the 400-degree water from turning into steam. It stays liquid. This creates this incredible, almost paradoxical phenomenon of burning water.
Now, here's where things get really mind-bending. This totally modern geological discovery, it has this fascinating echo in a text that's over 1,400 years old.
We're talking about a verse in the Quran from a chapter called At-Tur. It was revealed way back in the 7th century, and it contains an oath. And this oath says, "And by the sea filled with fire."
The specific Arabic phrase here is al-Bahar al-Masjur, and it's the meaning of that phrase, the translation, that has geologists and scholars so intrigued.
See, the richness of that one word, majur, is the key. It's not a simple word. It can mean heated, it can mean filled up, it can mean set alight, or even, get this, stoked like an oven. I mean, all of those definitions paint a picture that sounds, well, remarkably similar to the mid-ocean ridge we just talked about.
So this striking parallel leads to a pretty big question. Is this verse a prophecy about the future? Or is it an unbelievably accurate geological description of something happening right now? Let's take a look at the arguments. Basically, this all boils down to two main interpretations. You have the skeptic's view and you have the counter-argument. On one hand, is this a prophecy, predicting some future apocalypse? Or is it a description of a scientific reality that's already here, just hidden deep under the ocean?
Okay, so let's break this down. First, let's talk about timing. The skeptic's view is that this is all about the future, a prophecy of Judgment Day when the seas will boil away. But the counterargument says, no, this is describing a present reality. Then you have the context. Is the verse talking about an apocalypse, or is it an oath? The counterargument points out that the verse is structured just like other oaths in the Quran, by the sun, by the moon, which are always sworn on real things that exist now. And finally, there's feasibility. This is a big one. Skeptics say, look, there's just no way someone in the 7th century desert could have known about undersea volcanoes. But the other side kind of flips that argument. They say the description is so precise and so counterintuitive, who calls the cold ocean an oven, that its very accuracy is what makes it so remarkable.
So, when you put it all together, where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with a truly striking correspondence between modern science and an ancient text. It leaves us with fire beneath the waves.
There's a summary from the source material that I think just captures this whole journey perfectly. It goes, "We thought the ocean was cold. The divine code told us the floor is an oven. Science found the fire beneath the waves."
So here's the big takeaway. You have a text from the 7th century that describes the ocean as being stoked like an oven. A totally bizarre idea, right? It would have made absolutely no sense to anyone at the time. And yet, 1,400 years later, modern science comes along and confirms that exact picture, with the discovery of the mid-ocean ridge.
And all of this really just leaves us with one final big question. If a reality this massive, this incredible, was hidden in plain sight all this time, what other secrets do our oceans, and maybe even our ancient texts, still hold, just waiting for us to discover them?